All right, all right, all right. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to Releasing the Champ I Am with Christopher Hampton. I'm your host. I am the founder of Champ I Am. And no, I am not dyslexic. I know how to spell the word champion, but I want to redefine what the word champion means. You see, Champ I Am is just, it's my way of saying that you are the champ. So when you look at it, I am the champ. When you talk about yourself, you are the champ. There's no need for outside help to get the problem done. Everything that's on the inside of you that is needed to succeed in life is on the inside of you. That's why you have that affirmation of the I am on the end. So you have the champ, I am. Once you get a load of champ, I am, you'll never look at champion the same again. So again, I just want to thank you for joining and watching the live and the recast of this, the replay of this. This is my first initial podcast for releasing the champ I am, and it's on multiple platforms. And I'm just so excited to have this. It is December the 31st. Yes, the day before New Year's. And one of the things that I am is I am what you call anti New Year's resolution, as I said in my preview. The reason why is because every year around this time, we're going to say, I'm going to do something different. I'm lose weight. I'm going to challenge myself to do this, that, and the other. And we find out that the resolution fizzles out as the year goes on, and you probably don't get as much done. So I like to start things before the New Year's. December 31st is my start date, and I'm walking into my new year doing good things, doing new things, doing the challenging things. I'll give you an example. I started last year and working out last year. And in working out last year, I started in November because I didn't want to start where everybody was at the gym in January. And then I literally watched the January, February, March, and maybe by April, all the gym memberships started to fizzle down again. But I was so happy to be able to say that I was able to accomplish the goal of being able to work out consistently for a year and getting the job done. And you know what? Here's what I wanted to encourage you when it comes to doing new things and doing the right things. Don't do it because it's a new year. Don't make these resolutions because it's a new year and it's something fancy to do. You know, it's something that is accustomed to doing the world does at the same time. Do it because it's the right thing for you. You will be consistent in doing the things that are taking care of yourself, and you are committed to the reason why you're doing. You're losing that weight. Why? Because it's the right thing for you to do, for you to be able to enjoy your family. You're going to apply for these different jobs. Why? Because it's the right thing for you to do to take your life to the next level. Do it not because it's traditional. Do it not because you think it's accepted. Do it because it's the right thing to do. So again, I want to welcome you to this first broadcast, and what we're going to talk about is the essential things you need to live the intentional purpose filled life. And when I'm talking about intentional and purpose, it's like I'm saying purpose, because if you have purpose, you're intentional. But let's look at it like this. There are going to be some things in this life that you're going to need for this new year that you're going to have an intention, and you're going to have to be intentional for. And yes, maybe like I said, for our New Year's resolution, people, we are saying I'm intending to do this. I have an aim to do it. Well, you can aim at something, but if you don't have the follow through, the actions, it's just you just looking through binoculars. You're looking at the life through the long range view, and we want to stop that. We want to help you and empower you so that you can be equipped with the essentials that you need to go take life to the next level. So for the next couple of minutes for this introductory broadcast, I'm going to set the tone. We are going to also have in the future some awesome thought leaders and cultural leaders and community leaders on this platform that are going to encourage you to talk about how you can release your life, the best of you, to the next level in multiple areas of your life. I'm not just talking about personal wealth, I'm talking about family wealth. I'm talking about your spiritual wholeness, your spiritual wealth, your spiritual banks. And I'm also talking about what you can do as a person in your community to make changes as well. So those are three areas of changes that you're going to hear different speakers challenge you throughout the year. So it's not going to be me, but I'm going to set the pace and set the tone for how this is going to be. This is also interactive conversation. So if you are in the audience and you're hearing and you're listening this in the audience and you're reacting, hey, react to it. If you want to say something and it's time to, or you want to contribute something, put it in the chat and let me know that you're there. And if you want to have to, come on live and say some things, come on, so, respect the mic, but come on live and share your thoughts about what we're talking about because this part of this is an interaction, so it's participation, and in the audience, you're an important part of this as well. So thank you for that too. So I thought I would start the year off with really setting the foundation of what you're going to need to go into this new year, being intentional and purpose filled. So one of that is the word. It's a very important word that you're going to hear from me just as much as you hear me talk about purpose. You're going to hear me talk about this one word: vision. Vision is that ability to see, being able to see. Okay. But vision is more than just the ability to see. It's that vision, if I was to break it down into a definition, is that pure mental picture of your preferable future. Right? So when I think about vision, vision is not necessarily what's in front of you. Vision is not necessarily what's in front of you. That is called sight. So there's two ways of seeing. You have vision and sight. What? Vision and sight. Vision is what you see before you, and sight is what you see in front of you. And sometimes when we have these, some of us fall into these cycles where we get so discouraged because all we are focusing on are the things that are in front of you rather than the things that are before you. So let me show you what's wrong with that. If you really need both to move in life, you need both. Okay, you just don't need one. You need both ways to seeing because you can be at a disadvantage if you're so busy looking at what's before you, the possible future, that you don't pay attention to what's in front of you. You end up hitting roadblocks, distractions, detours, misdirections, and things like that. So you do need both ways of seeing. But right now, I want to share with you what sight does. So sight, if we're talking about what's in front of you, put your hand in front of your face like I'm doing right now. When you're living your life by sight, what happens is you are literally walking around looking at your hand like this. Now, in the reality, what's wrong with that? The hand is in front of my face. The hand is bigger than life, and it looks so big that it looks like oh my god, I can't see past my hand. But is my hand really as big as it is? No, it's a temporary roadblock. It's a temporary thing that's in front of my hand. The great thing about what's in front of you is that you can go around it, go through it, go under it, go over it. You can get around it. It's a temporary roadblock. Okay? It's not the end all to be all. But if you always are looking in the sight realm, this is going to be look bigger than life. The bills that you are looking at every day that are discouraging you right now because you feel like you're not making enough to make the next meet or make the next meal. That is a temporary situation. It's a real situation, but it's a temporary situation. And when you know it's temporary, you know there's a way over, a way out of it, a way through it because you have another view. You have another view in mind, and what that other view is vision. And vision allows you to be able to function when everyday situations are hitting in front of your face. You're able to look beyond and see where you're moving to, right? So you're able to look beyond your present situation and see that there's more for you down the line. You have a preferable, a possible future that you are building towards, and it's beyond the line, and it's so much greater than what you're dealing with in front of you. And it allows you to put what's in front of you in perspective, right? It allows you to put what's in front of you in proper perspective. That's the difference between someone who's getting through month three of the resolution phase to the committal phase to the actual I got it done phase to the I'm going to take it phase, right? Because they're able to see the bigger picture of what they're going to do. I know there's some big things on my plate for the new year professionally, my business wise and humanitarian wise that I want to see happen. They're all big things and they all have their individual roadblocks that are in front of me. But it's the picture that I see before me that gets me in every area that allows me to have the right perspective that allows me to overcome this. I come from a church background, and one of the scriptures says that, we walk by faith and not by sight, right? So it's telling me that, again, what faith is, it's not just a spiritual thing that you believe in, but what faith is a spiritual concept that you believe in something so much that even though it's not in front of you, you're willing to put work towards it to make that thing happen or to come closer and closer and closer to what you are believing for, right? So that's what faith is. But faith is basically saying that you have a vision for life. So basically what you have is a vision. And we walk by vision and not by sight. Sight is important, but it's not my guiding factor. So I hope I laid that foundation because that's the very first thing you're going to have to be intentional on is making sure that you can see both ways. I always call it like this, and I say, vision and purpose are the two lenses that you need to see life clear. Now, these are progressive lenses, and what's so funny about these progressive lenses is that anybody who wears progressive lenses knows that you have multi lenses. So it allows me to read my notes and it allows me to see distance. And it's the perfect example of sight and vision. It allows me to what? Read what's in front of me, but also see what's before me. And I need both of them for me to see properly. Otherwise, I have been committed to living my life with the blurred vision. And a lot of us have blurred vision because we're trying to see two ways, but we're not able to see two ways because we don't have the right prescription. We've allowed other people to dictate what our vision and our sight goals are. I need you in 2023 to reevaluate yourself, your life goals, your life purpose, and now see it through your eyes, not through the eyes of what the people around you call what success is, not with the people that you thought that are leading you or the people that are around you. I need you to define what your success is, and your success is whatever you do to accomplish that vision. It's funny. I have goals for my job that I do. I manage brokers for a nationwide insurance company, and I have over about 2,000 brokers that I have to train and develop and to get them ready to sell. Okay, and kill it in their territories. Okay, when I came in there, I had big goals, and it just didn't take me. I was able to see where I was going to when I came into the position, there were a lot of obstacles that would look like they would impede my way. I had to learn a new style of leadership. I had to learn a whole new style of record keeping and development. And I could have gotten so overwhelmed because then I said my weaknesses, because I was weak in these areas and new to these areas, my weaknesses were exposed. So I felt very vulnerable coming in as a new leader in this leadership position. But there's two ways that I could have dealt with that situation. There's two ways that I can dealt with that situation. I could have number one came into that position so focused on what I didn't have, so focused on what I didn't know, so focused on what I couldn't do at the time that I would totally forgot what I could do, what I didn't know, and what I knew what to do. Okay. You see, that's what happens when I live by sight. I started focusing on, yeah, I was having anxiety attacks because I wasn't the greatest PowerPoint presenter. I'm a great presenter, but when it comes to designing my PowerPoints, I felt like I was in kindergarten again, and my weaknesses were exposed. Right? But what I am is a great presenter. What I am is I'm able to communicate well. I was able to get the help that I needed to deal with that short-sighted situation so that I can put my strength in, and my strength actually balanced out my weakness. My prescription and how I saw my job was able to do it. And it within a year's worth of time, I was able to learn that position. And in the following year, I was able to own that position. All because of how I choose to see the situation. Your success this year is going to be based off of how you see the situation. How you see the situation. Number two, I think what's important is that we have to understand that your vision is no good to you in your head, because even though it's a clear mental picture of your preferable future, your vision is not a vision unless you put work to it. A lot of us are still in dream mode. Our dream mode is we can see it and we desire it. We can see it, we can desire it. But when you have a vision, you not only can see it, you can desire it. The vision starts to go from the head to coming in from the head into the world around you, into reality, right? First step is you have to be able to see the vision, see the possible future, see the possible you. That's the first step. Okay, you have to be able to see that. That starts with you dreaming and you seeing yourself at the next level, knowing what that next level looks like. And a lot of times that comes with being exposed to new roads and new people and new environments and new networks. So I'm going to challenge you this year to grow all those areas, because I'm going to challenge you to grow your network. I'm going to challenge you to grow your knowledge base. I'm going to challenge you to grow out of some of your traditional thoughts of how you think life should be, and that's going to expose you to another level. And once you're exposed to those other levels, you realize that there's another reality that's available to you, right? It wasn't until I started speaking on stages with masterful speakers that I realized that I could be on that platform as well. It wasn't until I started to participate in writing projects and collaborations with other writers that I realized that I had a writing skill too. And because I exposed myself to the area that I saw myself going to, it became a reality to me. A lot of times we don't pursue the vision that's in our head because we still don't believe that that vision applies to us. And if you don't believe something, you will only pursue something to your level of belief. You will never, ever, 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 ever pursue something if you do not really believe it. You won't go for that promotion if you don't believe that that promotion is for you. You won't continue to fix your family if you don't believe your family can be fixed. Because a lot of times we would submit to the everyday cycle rather than change the cycle. I'm a cycle changer. All right. If I don't like something, I will do my best to change the outcome. If I see the problem, I'm going to do my best to change that problem and make that problem out of my area. Why? Because I believe that if I have the power to change things. But if you think that you're helpless, you're helpless. If you think that society is designed to keep you down, you will never ever view your life through the eyes of I'm an overcomer, I'm a champ, I am. And I'm talking to future champ I ams, I'm talking to present champ I ams, and I'm talking to champ I ams that are still asleep and they don't realize that they are champ I ams. That's what this releasing it is. And I need you to see, not only see yourself, I need you to believe. Because people are not going to connect to a vision that is so big that you don't believe, especially because you are living that vision. So if you don't believe that that vision is possible, it's not going to happen. It's going to stay in the concept of in the confines of your mind. The next thing that you have to do is once you start to see it and you believe it, now we have to learn how to communicate it. And I'm gonna take my time because we have forever and ever Saturdays. So I'm gonna take my time when it comes to doing this. You gotta be able what to see the vision. You gotta be able to believe your vision. Now we talk about communicating your vision. Now, this is very important because now you've got people to actually see what you're trying to build, but because what you're doing is new, because what you're doing, hi Melania, what you're doing is new, people might not have seen what you're trying to build. They might not understand why you're trying to make the changes in your life that you have. And a lot of times, when going back to how we see our vision, a lot of times our visions are going to, of how we see life is going to be so big that you realize it's bigger than you. And that's important to understand that that's a part of the process. The vision is always going to be bigger than you because it's going to take more than you to get the vision done. I'll say that again. The vision is always going to be bigger than you. So if you see yourself being a parent and you see yourself making sure that you're raising your kids, you're a single parent and you're trying to raise your child in the right way, and you look at that situation and you look at everything that's around you, it is bigger than life when you're looking at that. You're like, can I possibly do this? Yes, you can, but you can't do it by yourself. You need a village. You need a tribe. You need a people that are going to be able to hear what you're trying to put your hands to and say, I identify with that and I want to help you. But they can't help you if you're not able to communicate it. I'll say it again. They're not going to be able to help you if you're not able to verbalize what your vision is. So what did we say the vision was? For those that are just coming in, we're saying vision is that clear mental picture of your preferable future. It's a possible future that you're trying to build. Whether it's your company, whether it's your family, whether it's your community, whether it's your personal goals, it is a clear mental picture. You see it, you taste it, you can feel it. It's what's before you. But what's before you is so big that you're going to be able to do it by yourself. So we need to talk about that. So I'm going to give you some pillars, and I'm going to really take my time because if we have to go to the next verse, the next episode to cover it, it's okay. So the first part I said you have to have is you have to be able to communicate what your vision is. What is your vision? You have to ask yourself this: what is it that I'm meant to do? What is it that makes me different? What is it that why should people want to connect with me? Okay. Why should people want to connect with you? And why should people want to help you? What is it that I'm trying to build? What is it that I'm preparing my whole life for? That while I'm on this life journey, I am meeting all these people that are coming to my life. I am going to my job with vision in mind. Why? Because I don't mind going, I love going to work. I love my day job. I love my day job. I love what I do. I am not trying to talk you out of doing your 9 to 5 so that you can come out and start your own. I believe you can do your 9 to 5 and start your own business and have multiple streams of income. Now, I'm not one of them people that say get out of what you do. I'm saying whatever you do, you need to know why you're doing it. Why? Because when you know why you're doing it, then you know what to look for. You know what resources you need. You know what you're getting out of this. Could it be that you're on your 9 to 5 job and you're misusing and abusing your 9 to 5 job because you don't know what your vision for your life is? Again, you're going by living by sight. You're living by what's in front of you. So every day you're going to work with the hand in front of the face because you can't see beyond what's happening every single day. But because I know I'm Champ I am, I know that this platform has global impact. I know that I'm going to be a person of global influence. I know that I'm going to be a world impactor, a world and changer. Therefore, I go through life every day looking for opportunities to build onto my vision. And then my job becomes a resource for my vision. My job works for me. I don't work for my job. Ooh, I'll say that again. How many of you are working for your job, but your job is not working for you? Ooh, I think we'll rest on that one. My job, no matter what the president thinks, my job works for me. I don't work for my job. Why? Because I have a vision that where I'm heading for is so much bigger than where I'm working at now. But I am able to receive more. Why? Because my job is actually preparing me for my future. My job that I have now, I told you I manage over 2,000 brokers, and it's teaching me how to be independent. It's teaching me how to run my business like a business. It teaches me how to talk to top level executives. It teaches me how to train and develop a sales force. It's teaching me how to communicate more effectively. It's teaching me how to train the trainer. All these benefits are coming from my job. My just over, they call it just over broke. I'm not just over broke because I have a wonderful resource from my job because I'm going in not short sighted. I'm going in with vision in mind. And I'm sitting there like, oh, you just gave me free training. You just gave me free development for my future. That when I leave that job, not only are they better because of me, I'm better because I was able to take those resources. There are some of y'all out there that have been working for the same job for like 20 years, and because you don't have vision, you're not maximizing the space of where you are at. You got to maximize the space of where you're at. So now I said it's important that you know where you're going. So we ask those questions. What is it? So you should have a piece of paper somewhere and it said and write vision in the first spot and just write vision down and say, I got vision. What is my vision? What is my clear mental picture of my preferable future? How do I want to see my house? How do I want to see my home? How do I want to see my professional? How do I want to see my intimate relationships? How do I want to see all these different areas of my life? And remember, it is a clear mental picture of a possible future, not a pure mental picture of a promised future. The reason why, when you think promise, you don't think you necessarily have to work to get to a promised place because it's been promised to me. When you realize there's a possible future, that means you got to put some skin in the game to make it happen. Okay? So you're asking those questions. You wrote down vision. What is my clear mental picture of my preferable future? And this becomes your vision statement. Do you realize that when you go into companies, every company has a vision and a mission statement? Why? Because nobody wants to work for a company that don't know where they're going and how to do it. Some of y'all probably feel like you're working for companies that you don't know how you're doing it and how they're doing it, right? But nobody wants to work for a company they don't know where they're going and how they're getting there. Well, it's the same thing in your life. The reason why most people are having issues with their life and they're depressed is because they don't know where they're going and they don't know how to get there. You're not going to know the how till you know the where. So I want you to take the time to look at your life and say, hey, we're going to look at your life in a different viewpoint, and I want you to start dreaming again. I want you to take the time to start dreaming again. Remember, before the vision comes the dream is totally in your head. It can be totally fantasy. You know what? I saw myself speaking to the world, and I did it in the beginning of COVID. COVID reset my whole life in a positive way because it made me worldwide, and it just made my dream come true. Right? But I wouldn't have been able to take the opportunities to do that and to make those switches if I didn't know where I was going. So now I'm like, I said, I want to speak to the world. And I will tell you how deep your words are when it comes to your vision. I said I wanted to speak to the world, and then COVID came, and then everybody had to go virtual because there were no more speaking stages. Listen, I was going to be an international speaker that year. I was going to speak in London, England, and I was going there and ready. I had my plane ticket, I had my hotel reserved. I'm ready to get on. Then COVID hit, shut down the airplane, shut down the hotel space, and then eventually shut down the conference space. Now that was a site issue. It was a real issue, and it kind of hurt my feelings because I was 3 years into building my brand, and I finally got my dream of I'm going to be able to speak in another country, and I was international. COVID hit, and I was able to change, and now I've been able to speak to countries. I've been able to speak and build relationships in India, Africa, Indonesia, South America. I was in Canada. Or some other countries, Australia, just all over, because the virtual platform opened up and I was able to make my vision come true. And what did I do? I spoke my vision in my mouth and I was able to say, I am going to speak to the world. I'm going to impact the world through my message and I'm going to speak to the world. No matter what the situation came, I was able to pivot and I did the virtual thing and I got just what I said. So once you get an idea of what you're believing for and what you're trying to see, start speaking it. Oh, we're going to be debt free in 2023. And I don't want that to be like debt free in 2023. But I want you to say, I'm going to be debt free. But you start declaring that, start saying that. I'm going to be, that's your affirmation. I'm going to be debt free in 23. Then I need you to start to make the plans. And we're going to talk about that. But you at least got to get to the part that you can believe it, that you can start to actually vocalize it. Because now I'm going to say I don't not only want to speak to the world, I want to see the world. So I actually want plane tickets, and I want to be able to be on in Bermuda. I want to be in Australia. I want to go to Egypt. I want to speak all over. I want to go to Dubai. I want to go to all these different places, and I want to speak there live and in person. Right. So now I made that intention clear. Now I'm starting to do the work to get it done. So you need your vision, and I said the vision number one is part one is how you see things. Okay. Part two, after you get an idea of how you see things, you need to build what we call the mission. The mission is how you get it done. So the vision talks about what you see that's in front of you. The mission talks about how are you going to get it done, the steps that it's going to take to get it done. Vision, what I see. Mission is what I do. So write the word down mission. Maybe you do homework. Write the word down mission and put that down because you're going to actually make this your statement that you're going to actually have, and you're going to have a daily affirmation, confession, declaration, whatever terminology you want to use, and you're going to see yourself in a different way because you see what you're building. So we said what the vision is what I see, the mission is how I do it. Now, when it comes to you doing the mission, don't be tied to tradition. Hey, I made that rhyme. When it comes to the mission, don't be tied to tradition. Ha. What does that mean? Because it's been done a certain way for so long doesn't mean you have to do it that way. Don't be tied to traditional way. When I told you that I wanted to be a motivational speaker 7 years ago when I started this, what I started is I actually started my motivational speaker journey when I was asked to be an actor in an independent film. So I got my IMD presence in there. I have IMD credits. Hey Chris, I'm gonna see if I can let you up here. So I have my IMD credits. All right, 1 second. I had my IMD credits, and the great thing about the IMD credits was I didn't even know that I had the industrial. Trying to figure out how to do it. All right, so one of the things I'm calling in is a producer. So hold on. I'm so used to Clubhouse. Okay, there you are. And this
Yeah, good
is a
morning, Jimmy.
conversation, so I definitely want you to come on. So, Milana, if you'd like to come to the stage, you can come to the stage because audience participation is a great part about it. So, let me talk about the tradition, and I'll let you in, Chris. Um, so, when it comes to tradition, we always say, well, this is how it's always been made. But if you always are stuck with tradition, then you get to a point where tradition becomes stale and you need to make room for innovation. So if you're seeing things that are outside of the realm of what's done, don't be afraid to do it. They won't realize it's valuable till it's done anyway. Okay, so they won't realize it's that they'll talk about you like your name is mud. Okay, while you're building it, and then they won't see the value until it's done. So don't let the tradition stop the mission. Hi, Chris. Welcome. I know that you're a host of another show. I've seen you out there. Welcome to the platform. It's great to have you on. Would you like to introduce yourself and add to the conversation?
Oh, yes, very briefly. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. My name is Chris Rossetti in San Francisco. I'm a broadcaster here as well on Fireside. And I want to, first of all, apologize. I think you came into a couple of my broadcasts and I didn't pronounce your name right now that I can read it calmly. Champ, I am.
Yes, yes. I gave the
Okay.
introduction in the beginning.
All right. Thank you so much for clarifying that. Also, you were doing it correctly earlier. I was just typing in a comment, so I didn't actually request to join you on stage, but I'm glad I did. I was just echoing what you had said, and I typed in the comment area the vision, what I see, the mission, how I do it. So sometimes when you see a thought bubble above the head, it just means someone's making a comment. You can tap that and just look at the comment.
Thank you so much. I'm so used to Clubhouse, and now we have the visual side.
Yeah,
So I love this platform,
yeah,
and I
it's
love what
awesome.
Fireside has done. So thank you for coming in. And feel free if you want to come off the mute button if you want, or if you choose to go back, you can go back in there. But again, this is an open conversation, and I would love to have the audience feedback on there. So Milana, if you want to come in, a lot of times you're going to add to it, and even bring it into another dimension that I didn't have it. I know some, but I don't know all, and I'm glad that I don't know all because we that means I'm never going to be able to complete the whole sentence without y'all here. It takes a village. So thank you, Chris. And so we were sharing about the mission. So we said the vision is what you see. The mission is how you're going to get it done, right? So now you have, this is where the communication comes into effect. And this also turns into a little elevator speech once you get the five pillars that I'm going to share with you. It gives you a little elevator speech. So this is really good. So when you're able to do this, you're now going to be able to communicate your vision in such a way that you're going to be talking to people that are influencers that can make a difference with you and say this within 30 to 60 seconds and without the hemming and the hawing. You'll be able to clearly state what you're doing. So again, you're writing down vision, you're writing down the vision. So what is it that you want to do? And how would you approach it? Okay. How would you approach it? What is it that you want to do? And how that you're going to grow? Again, who wants to follow a business model where the company doesn't know who they are and what they do? So, your mission. So, I'll break it down. As a speaker and a facilitator and now a podcaster, how I accomplish the mission of my vision is I want to be able to impact the world so that people can release the champ I am that's on the inside. They will be able to acknowledge, embrace, and develop and cultivate and pursue that champ I am on the inside and realizing that their life is designed for them and everything that they need is on the inside of them. I want to bring this to a global platform. So that's my vision. So I'm sharing that with you and saying, this is my vision for who I am, right? And then my mission says, well, how I do that? I do that because I do seminars, I do keynotes, I do keynote presentations, I do workshops, I podcast, I facilitate, I'm a panel speaker, I'm an MC speaker, all these different ways. I'm a community leader where I help and volunteer in the community. All these things do this. I am a leader in my workplace. Okay, so all these things are show how I do that and how I accomplish the goal. So now you start looking at what you do and how you do it, and you're able to clarify this is how we do it. People are then going to see the vision and they're going to see the model, and then it gets them to be able to see how they fit into what you're trying to build. So it's not enough for us to have vision. We have to learn how to communicate the vision. It's not enough for you to see it. You got to now have a business model, a foundation that you can now build to show that you are building something, that people start walking by you, and every time they see you, they see your hands are building it. And they're like, what, what are you building? And as you start to communicate the vision, they're like, I don't see it yet. But as you continue to build it, you continue to build it, there are going to be some people that are going to be at the ground floor that are going to see it immediately. Those are not necessarily your friends, your family, and your neighbors. If you waiting on them, they're the last ones to come on. Okay. But while you're communicating your vision, you're like, boom. But as you start to vision and you're starting to communicate the mission on how you're doing it, people are going to start to identify and start to see themselves in your vision. And they're going to want to put their hands on it. So you're like, why is nobody helping me? Why is nobody looking at my business model? Why is nobody stepping in and helping me lift up my dream? Oh, so let me go back to talking about what I was talking about. I'm sorry, I went off track real quick. And I was telling you about the independent movie that I was in. At that time, I wasn't a speaker, but I knew I was supposed to be speaking. And I was a lead character in this movie, and I was talking to one of the other characters, and he sat there and said, and I was just sharing with him, and that's the other thing. I was just sharing with him about my perspective on life, and then just started. And whenever I was going, I was empowering. That's how you know that you are supposed to be doing something. Wherever you are at, you end up empowering people. You end up doing what your vision goal is. So even though I wasn't a motivational speaker, I was always motivating and empowering people. And he said, "You know what? I see you doing this on such a great scale." And I was just, it took someone who was out of my circle to tell me about myself and give me the push to actually step out to do it. And that week after that conversation, I started to present myself as Champ I Am. I joined Toastmasters, and I went to Toastmasters, and I said, my name is Chris Hampton, and I am a champ. I am champ. I'm not. I was a champ. I am a motivational speaker. I didn't say what I wanted to be. I said what I am. You got to speak about your future goal in present tense. So the people in Toastmasters started to help me, and I started to multiply my vision. And within 6 months, I was a competition, an award-winning speaker in their competition. Why? Because I was able to state what I was and manifest it on the stage of what I was building. Right after that, my very first motivational speaking, I was speaking to models. I was in the Fortune 5. I was in the insurance industry. I was thinking that I was going to go to Transamerica, Monumental, these Lincoln, these major corporations to come in. And what I ended up starting my platform was what with models. How did I get into my area through movies? Had nothing to do with my business knowledge at the time. But when I was speaking to the knowledge, I was speaking to the models about how they viewed themselves and being able to view know your worth and understand your value. And I didn't realize how beautiful people had issues with self-esteem. I didn't realize that beautiful people had issues with translating their beauty to their brand. But it wasn't the traditional way to go. I've never had a motivational speaker platform coach tell me to go speak wherever. But it was me speaking there that now I'm now speaking into my major companies now. And now I'm in the fortune. So what I mean by that is that wasn't the traditional way to go. But because I was willing to do and be who I am wherever I'm at, it followed me. And I ended up building, and that consistency led me to where I am right now. So we said again, the mission, I'm going to repeat it again, is the vision is what you see. The mission is what you do. Next thing is the passion, right? The passion is whatever you're doing, it should drive you. You should get some sense of work out. The reason why you kind of burn out during your 9 to 5 is because it's not being fueled by passion. You don't have to be necessarily passionate about the work that you do. But when you understand the why that you're doing it, you can go through that. Your passion for your why will fuel you through the day to day 9 to 5. Remember, I told you that earlier on when I was telling you about how the 9 to 5 was preparing me for my future because I went into my job with my vision in mind, not my work in mind. So my job started to teach me how to be the leader that I am today. And I'm able to leave that job better than I am when it's time for me to leave that job. I'm going to be left better and they're going to be left better. Why? Because I walked in that job with vision. So when I realized that the passion for what being champ I am is what allows me to go through the rigmarole and the day to day of the jobs that you go through, because you realize I'm not working here for them, I'm working here for something greater. That passion will fuel you through your New Year's resolution. Again, as I said at the beginning, I am anti-New resolutionist because we end up not doing. I want you to be committed to what you're doing, and you're committed to your vision. Your vision is not a New Year's resolution; it's a life resolution. That means it's going to take you to be committed to be able to come through it. So I see people that are coming on. If you are interested in coming to the stage, just let me know that you want to come to the stage and add on. This is an interactive conversation that we have as well. So we said the vision, the mission, the passion, the problem. So I want you to write down vision, mission, passion. Why you do what you do. Why is it that you do what you do? Okay? The passion is your why. When you know your why, then you'll understand why you do what you do. The problem. What is it that you're meant to fix? A lot of times, everybody can point out problems, but nobody takes they don't look at they don't take the responsibility of providing solutions. But a lot of times, it's the problems that we are seeing are really we're meant to be the solutions to those problems. So, like on the job that I have, one of the things I realized was the brokers were not being trained; they were being recruited, and they were being just thrown out into the sales field. Now, as a sales trainer myself, and I've always been trained, I come from very good training. I'm looking at this like, well, then you're going to have the spaghetti on the wall thing. But then brokers that have been doing my job for years, they just thought it was the system. Every year they would hire brokers, throw them out there in the field, and whoever stays, stayed. Well, I said, no, we're not going to do that. Why? Because I could have sat there and complained about the problem, but they don't pay me to do problems. They pay me for solutions. So my solution to the problem was, all right, we can hire them, but how would it be great to be able to retain if we just took a little bit more time to teach them how to sell and how to sell it our way? So if we teach them how to sell it our way, they'll find that it's easier to sell our product. And because they have an overall support of us training and developing and teaching them, they're able now to have a brand, what you call brand loyalty, and now they'll sell us just because of the support that we're giving them, training and developing wise. Now, I don't like to brag, but when I came in there, I think my first year we were like 98% of gold. Now, after we started training them, we went out and did a 300% overflow goal just because I chose to not look at the problem and keep the problem and talk about the problem, but offer solutions for the problem. So if you're seeing problems and they're not changing, maybe it's meant for you to see those problems so that it sparks something on the inside of you. That means that you're not supposed to be in a situation where you're not dealing with the change. It's not supposed to stay in your presence and stay the same. No matter wherever you go, you should be impacting the world of wherever you're at. Okay, so wherever you're at, so it should not stay the same when you step on the scene. As soon as you step on the scene, if there's a problem, this problem should change. Why? Because you are there to impact the environment around you. So we said the vision, the mission, the passion, the why, the problem, and then last is the solution. What is the solution that you're going to bring to the table? These five pillars work whether it's for your family, it works for your job, it works for it works for your goals for overall, it works for your wellness and your well being. What is the solution that you're going to bring to the table? You see, if we looked at each other as possible solutions, I see Ray, I see I am Dave, I see Chris, I see Milana. You are all all potential solutions. You're in my life right now, and I don't even know, but somebody in this is maybe a solution for my future. And if you don't look at people as solutions for your future, and you don't look at yourself as a solution for your future, again, you'll be dictated by what's in front of you, your sight. But I look for every relationship as a possible solution to something that either I am the solution for or there are a solution in my life. And therefore, we build networks, we develop relationships, we develop the next levels. So that's the key to being able to communicate your vision. Number one, the vision, the mission, the passion, the problem, and the solution. Does anybody want to try that from using that outline if they want to share? This is the chance to share with the world your platform. This is a great way of doing your elevator speech. So I want to use the last 10 minutes to really have some audience interaction. So if you could tell me what you got out of what you heard, or if you can want to share what you do and how you are the solution. Because again, you never know who's in the room listening to you, who's in the room that can be that next level connection. So I want to as part of this, the end of this first episode, I always want to make time for networking and building relationship. So if you're free, if you would like to come on board and just tell me if you're a fellow host out there on Fireside and you have a platform, I'm opening up this time for you to share your platform with me as well and just come forward and just share maybe a tidbit of what you heard today that's going to change your mindset going into the future. And you can do that in Q&A too.
Yeah, this is Chris Rossetti again. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
great information. I'm going to apply this starting today. I love conciseness, which leads to creativity, which leads to accomplishment. So thank you so much. Also, I'm here on the platform on Fireside. I do something every day, Monday through Friday, called the antidepressant of the day. And I've been doing it for 1 year. And what I do is basically encourage people because I was set free from 30 years of depression. And I simply encourage people never to give up hope, never stop believing. If I can be set free, your miracle is just around the corner. So that's what I do here on Fireside. And I have other things I do in other apps as well. Thanks for the opportunity to share.
Well, thank you. I heard Chris and I was like, I love that voice. I wish I had. He almost has that the Allstate guy's voice, so it makes you feel kind of comfortable. But I love his anti-depressant minute that he does. It really is like his show. If again you could press his picture and just really connect with him. He's a really good person to listen to. I like dealing with positive people. So thank you, Chris, for coming out and returning the favor and listening. And I hope we can connect in the future as well. Anyone else want to share?
Thank you so much. I'm going to go back down to the audience. And I did invite all my followers and friends to join us today.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I won't hold anyone longer. If again, I value your attention and your time. I just wanted to speak a New Year's blessing and affirmation for you. My prayer is that is before, if were not able to see yourself clearly, that this conversation has opened your eyes to see yourself in a different way. My declaration for those that are listening to the replay, that are listening always through, that if that today your eyes will be open to see that you are there's more to life than just living. There's impact that needs to be made, and you are meant to be that change maker, that solution bringer. There is more in your life. I pray that in this year and declare in your life that as you go into the new year, that your eyes be open to new opportunities, to new levels of growth, to new levels of information, and to new relationships. And that you will build people around you, a community that's going to build you up, not tear you down, keep you up, not tear you down and bring you down. And as we grow as a community, I hope that you will become the part of this community and share this replay with people that need it as well, because we all need what we're bringing to the table. And I don't have it all, you don't have it all, but when we come together, mm, we leave stronger. So again, you have been a part of the inaugural episode of the champ I am, releasing the champ I am, and this will not be the last time that you're hearing from me. Again, I thank you for your time. I thank you for your open ears, and again, just share this message and have you have a great new year. Thank you.